Ladies and gentlemen, after that unique introduction, it gives me enormous pleasure to welcome you as well to Conservative Party Conference 2023 here in the dynamic city of Manchester. Now, when the Prime Minister asked me to take on this role in February as your party chairman, I could not have been more excited. Having been a member for 37 years, and a representative at every level, chairman of my university Conservatives, an elected student union officer, a ward chairman, a councillor, a group leader, an MP, a government whip, a government minister, and a member of the cabinet, I can truly say that there is no greater privilege than to lead our great party into the next general election alongside our great Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. But we cannot do this alone, and I'm incredibly lucky to have a fantastic team of Conservatives who work tirelessly behind the scenes and whom I'd like to thank personally for their dedication to our party. Right here in the front row, Peter Booth, Chairman of the National Convention, who does so much for our party. Pete Smallwood, the Chairman of this year's conference, who you've just met. Stephen Massey, CCHQ's CEO, who has helped to transform the party's finances since a year ago. Douglas Ross and Andrew R.T. Davies, who you'll hear from shortly, for their outstanding work in exposing the hypocrisy of what life is like under the SNP in Scotland and Labour in Wales. And finally, my fantastic team of Deputy and Vice Chairman, Nikki Aiken, Luke Hall, Lee Anderson, Jack Lepresti, Matt Vickers, Craig Tracy, Sakib Bhatti, Mo Ali, and my PPS, Dr. Ben Spencer. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are one big Conservative family. Whether you've been a member for 50 years like Edna from Brecon and Radnorshire, or a member for just over 12 months like Leo from Bristol. Now, as chairman, I've had the great pleasure of campaigning this year in over 50 constituencies, and if I haven't got to you yet, you can expect a visit very soon. And we have seen what happens when you do great campaigning. Look at Uxbridge. The week before, Labour was 25-1 on favourite. Now, think about that. Labour was so favourites that you put £100 on, and if Labour won, you'd only get £4 back. But we knew we had the right policies, a superb turnout from everyone across all levels of the party, and a first-class candidate in Steve Tuckwell. Now, I'm going to go one better than Pete Smallwood. I'm going to actually ask Steve Tuckwell to stand up. Steve, stand up. You've been brilliant. And he's already getting stuck into the House of Commons. He truly is a fantastic parliamentary voice for the people of Uxbridge and South Ruislip, and proof that we can come from behind to win, as we have done so often before. So I would ask that everyone captures the energy which went into winning in Uxbridge and gets out to support our fantastic current by-election candidates in Tamworth and Mid-Bedfordshire, Andy Cooper and Festus Akinbisoya. So by-elections aside, we will, of course, have several elections next year. A full set of local elections in May. Police and Crime Commissioner elections, led by our fantastic group leader, Katie Bourne. We also have our flagship mayors and candidates across the country standing for election next year. In the West Midlands, we have Andy Street. The East Midlands, Ben Bradley. Tees Valley, Ben Houchin. North Yorkshire, Keane Duncan and others. And in London, GLA and mayoral elections, as Pete has already said, a chance to throw out a Labour mayor who has been an unmitigated disaster for our great capital city. Proof again, as if we didn't need to see it again. We know this, that when Labour run things, they run them badly. Londoners are starting to see through it, and we have a brilliant candidate in Susan Hall who will, on the 2nd of May, prove to Sadiq Khan that actually Sadiq can't. And we will, and I don't think I'm breaking any state secrets here, also have a general election. Now, this is likely to be a general election where the Conservatives enter as the underdogs. And I know in recent years you will have had difficult conversations with voters. I certainly have. But I would say just three things about those conversations. First, every single conversation I have had on the doorstep has been improved by the mention of Rishi Sunak and the job that he does as our Prime Minister. Second, that there is no enthusiasm for Sir Keir Starmer and even less trust in him. And third, that wherever Labour runs something in the country, they run it badly. Let me tell you first about our great Prime Minister. The message coming across loud and clear from the doorstep is that people can see we're moving in the right direction, that the Conservatives are getting on with the job, and that Rishi Sunak is the right man to steer this country through extremely challenging times. People understand also the tough choices and the trade-offs that true leadership entails. They look at our Prime Minister and see someone who is prepared to make the tough, long-term decisions to get the country on the right path for our future. Someone who's not afraid to challenge the old-style Westminster politics of short-termism that we have seen so much of in the past. That earns respect. It wins trust. And it will be by continuing to win that trust and respect that we will also win nationally next year. Which takes me to my second point, that there is no liking for Sir Keir Starmer and definitely no trust. Who is the real Sir Keir Starmer? The friend and supporter of Jeremy Corbyn? The puppet of Tony Blair? Or the mouthpiece of Just Stop Oil? All we do know is that he has broken every single leadership pledge and flip-flopped almost 60 times in just 3 years. This is a man who will literally say anything that suits him at that time. I've always thought that the best leaders wake up each morning and ask themselves, what am I going to do today? Some leaders ask themselves, what am I going to say today? Sir Keir wakes up and asks himself, what am I going to believe today? And ladies and gentlemen, can I just let you into also a little bit of a secret? These are available. Anybody who likes this association of Sir Keir Starmer with flip-flops, I have these available at the Conservative shop outside for just £16.99, also online at conservatives.com, your own pair of Sir Keir Starmer flip-flops. I warmly recommend them to you. But not once has there been any clear plan for Britain from Sir Keir. He is not honest with people about the challenges that the country faces. He has no new ideas, criticises from the sidelines, calling for yet more money to be magicked up. Now, here's another thing we know, that wherever Labour runs something, they run it badly. I've already mentioned London. Look at Wales. We're going to hear from Andrew R.T. Davies later this afternoon, and David T.C. Davies, the Secretary of State for Wales. Patients almost twice as likely to be on the NHS waiting list as they are in England. But according to Sir Keir, Labour in Wales is, quote, a blueprint for what they would do in Westminster. Now, that's not a blueprint, ladies and gentlemen. It is a red flag, and it's bringing Wales to a standstill. Look at Labour-run Birmingham City Council. Its leader handpicked by Sir Keir and his union paymasters to sort out the finances. Praised by Sir Keir just a few months ago. So what did they do? They voted unanimously to bump up their own pay packet, blow millions of pounds on consultants, all paid for by hiking council tax for hard-working local people by the maximum amount. This is Europe's largest local authority. Before being hit by a £760 million legal bill for, and here is the irony, equal pay claim. £760 million for one local authority. A Labour council that spent more time thinking up, you might remember this, from the height of the pandemic, more time thinking up new woke street names than looking after their own finances. Birmingham City Council really did have a diversity grove. They had an Inspire Alley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, they are up bankruptcy avenue. From what we do know of Labour's plans for the UK, the entire country would go the same way. Labour's plan for energy, lovingly crafted by Just Stop Oil, would leave us gasping for energy imports from unfriendly foreign powers. Their plan for immigration would see the numbers coming into this country decided not by us, but by Brussels. And their plan for the economy has already signed the UK up to £90 billion of uncosted funding commitments. Before putting money on the credit card, didn't work out so well for them last time. Now, you can probably work out where this is going. Dear Chief Secretary, no money left. And that reminder, ladies and gentlemen, should tell us that we need to work to stop Labour getting back in. We cannot let them do to the UK what they have done to Wales, what they have done to London, and what they have done to Birmingham. There is a surefire way to stop them in their tracks. It's through effective campaigning, ladies and gentlemen, and winning next year at all levels. Now, let me tell you something about somebody who did know a thing or two about campaigning. A much-loved member of our Conservative family who represented his constituents.
OK, that was Greg Hands there, kicking off the Tory party conference.